Oh, there it is. But whoa. A little messy there, guy.
Messy there today.
Louis being messy with the drink. Yeah, Cranky's going to have to clean that up. He's going to call his maid.
Olga. It spilled all over my shorts anyways, man.
Olga, can you come clean this? Olga. What is up, everybody? This is Uncanceled Culture, right?
Yeah,
Did we still have the same name?
Yeah, we still, yeah. They haven't canceled us.
Not yet, but we might be on the way. But what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Louis, how you been?
Oh, living the dream.
Of course, we're still alive. Cranky? Yeah. You need to make a shirt that says SSDD on it. Same shit, different. Yeah. Oh man! So I kind of want to jump into. We did have some comments.
We did have some comments.
And I'm not gonna go into them. I know we should, but we had several comments. One of them was about the dog.
Yep.
That people can actually go online and just basically print something out that says, oh, this is a service dog. And actually, did we talk about that video that I sent you? I don't think we talked about it. So, we talked about the whole service dog thing, right? And there's a video of this lady who has a service dog, and the dog alerted her. You know how the dogs are. Some of the dogs can alert their owner to when they're going to have problems, especially people that have like diabetes and stuff like that. They can alert them to when their sugar goes low, right? Well, this lady was in, I don't know what she was, Macy's or JCPenney's or something, and the dog alerted her to this thing, and so she had to sit down, and, apparently, according to some lady, she was in the way of somewhere that she was trying to get, and this lady starts basically, like, belittling the lady with the service dog. Like, oh, well, you need to move, and you need to do it. I'm like, wait, what? So here's the opposite reaction of the dog, right? The dog was doing
an actual service dog.
Right. It was an actual service dog doing what the actual service dog was supposed to do. And yet this lady, she starts berating her like, well, you need to move. You need to get out of the way. Like, why are you sitting down? Like, you need to get up. Like, you need to move. Like, wait, what? That, to me, that's like people just, the complete opposite of what we're talking about. Like, this person legit had a service dog that was doing what it was supposed to do, and now this lady's telling her shit.
What was the dog? Believe that. What was the dog doing? Barking?
No, that they give them some sort of sign. I don't know. They don't necessarily bark, but they just kind of give them a sign to, like, I think maybe like they jump up on them, or they kind of like,
some type of a signal.
Yeah, they give them some sort of signal to let them know. Like, but it's so weird. Like they know that, like they sense it, and they don't have any machine or anything that's telling them, hey, their sugar's going low, whatever. So the dog just does it.
So not only am I sick, but I gotta learn to speak dog too.
Is that Chris Rock?
Yeah.
What is it, boy? What is it? Someone at the door?
What? What, boy? What?
But that's the opposite reaction of like why I'm pissed off about it, right? Like, I'm pissed off because people got dogs and they're not supposed to have dogs in there. But here's a dog that's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and then this lady comes around and starts telling this lady shit for no reason. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
So that's crazy that you bring that up, right? So I was at one of our local malls this past week.
You can say,
I was at Ingram.
Nah, don't say it.
I was at Ingram.
Okay.
And I was in one of the stores, and this lady had a service animal, or it was a service dog, and it was. And you could tell the people that should have them, right?
Or even by the way the dog acts.
Well, and that's the thing.
Right away.
So the lady was, she was a kind of an older lady. I don't know if she had any, impairments or whatever.
You couldn't tell exactly, right, outright.
But she's there with her dog, and the dog's there very, quiet, just kind of right next to her, which is the ones that you can really tell because they literally sit right by their hip, right?
They do what they're supposed to.
And when they're just standing in line, they literally just freaking like lay down right next to them. Well, I kind of kicked the dog on accident, and then I was like, man, I'm so sorry. She was like, no, it's okay. The dog's just fine, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, man, this other lady with a stroller, boom, hits the dog, and you see the dog jump up, and I'm like, Lee. I felt kind of bad for the dog and the lady, but I was like, it's kind of what we've been talking about, man. I think people are at the place where kind of where we were at. Everybody has a damn dog in the store, so you never know. So they just kind of take it for granted and just like, it wasn't a big deal. So
And the other thing, there's other videos that I saw, and this is what also gets me mad because the lady was like, it was a different video, it's a completely different video, but the lady was like, it is a service dog, but I don't need to show you my papers. What is the big deal? Like, you should have those papers with you. So if somebody does ask, you shouldn't have a problem presenting that to those people and saying, "Hey,
Exactly.
here's my papers." It don't matter if you get it online or if you pay $50, you get a free. But I don't know how that works.
Yep.
But it's like if they have it, just show it.
Yep.
What's the big deal?
I thought they were supposed to have a vest.
Well, there's different. I guess each state is different. I know in Texas, they might have to.
Well,
You might actually have to present papers.
And the one at the mall had a vest on. It was a red vest. It said service dog. I mean, it looked legit.
Yeah.
But it's just people just I don't know if you want to say that they're just people that are inconsiderate, or people are just everybody has a damn dog. Like who I don't know, and just going through and not paying really mind. And then like we said, the dog is so quiet. It's just there. So you're pushing this big ass damn stroller, freaking like you're gonna go, freaking mudding down at the park somewhere, man. I mean, it just
Poor dog.
Yeah, dog took a beating that day.
Oh my god. Well, I just wanted to bring that up again because it's like it's opposite of what I was thinking. So I mean, anyway, but privilege. That's the one thing that I wanted to start off with, because I know Louis just said he saw the video as well, but apparently in Georgia, I don't know what county it was, but it wasn't a major county. It was a small county, I guess. And apparently this lady gets pulled over by the policeman, and what happens is she doesn't stop. So she's driving in the neighborhood, and she's going through the neighborhood, and the cops following her, lights on, everything, sirens, blah blah blah. So the lady decides to just go home. So she pulls into her house, and the garage door opens, and she pulls right in, and the cop comes after her. Now, granted, I'm going to say it. I have to say it. The lady was white. The cop was white. I think you know where I'm going with this. So
Anybody else, she would have been arrested.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
That's where I'm going with that. So she doesn't pull over. She keeps driving, right? So that's one thing. That could be on the cop, I guess. I don't know. So she pulls in, she gets out, and right away she starts saying, you follow me, blah, blah, blah. And the cop's saying, ma'am, I pulled you over, 3 blocks away. You didn't pull over. You just kept driving. And so he's going out of his way to explain every little thing to this lady. And this lady's like, well, I'm just going to call so-and-so. So
I'm going to call the chief of police.
Yeah. So she calls the chief of police.
I have him on speed dial.
Does the cop listen to our podcast and noted and says, well, Roger says we have to explain everything to people. So let me start from the beginning on why I put it over. Let me start why I became a cop first.
And then where I noticed that you were speeding.
It started way back in 1922.
My father was a cop. My grandfather was a cop.
Cops running the family. So yeah, she pulls him. He pulls her over. She calls the chief of police on speed dial. Turns out this lady is the DA for the county.
Yeah.
Right? For this county in Georgia.
And she not only called one,
dumbass?
she called a few.
Dumbass.
DA, the dumbass.
DA, the dumbass.
She literally called a few chief of police.
Yeah. How many chiefs of police
Exactly.
do they have?
I don't know, dude. She was like, I have all of their numbers.
Whoa.
And honestly, man, I'm thinking it's probably like San Antonio,
It's like a
where you have
tri
your
thing.
your Balcones Heights, you have your SAPD, you know what I mean. So everybody has their own chief, basically.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that's what she was going at. Like, I have everybody's number, and it was stupid, but Yeah, go ahead.
But my thing was, okay, so she pulls him over. He pulls her over. And right away she gets out and he's trying to explain to her, ma'am, you did this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, just give me the goddamn ticket. And then she starts cursing at him, like,
get out of my
straight
house.
Out, like, get out, you're in my house, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but ma'am, I'm just doing my job. But ma'am, I'm like, dude, just fucking do something already.
Taser.
Like, do something.
Yeah, you
like,
gonna
dude,
tase anybody
arrest
else?
her. Put her in fucking handcuffs. You're doing your job. Put her in fucking handcuffs because you would have did it to anybody else that would have been
If
doing
it would
that
have been
shit.
me. Yeah.
Shit,
I
a
would've been on the local
a
news.
little bit darker skin, they would have been arrested and put in jail already. But so she says this lady's calling and she knows him by name, calling, oh Tony, I call Tony and this and that, and then it's like, okay, so then his supervisor comes and then the other supervisor comes and they're all trying to talk to her and blah blah blah. She's like, and then this is what got me, and this is the reason why I brought it up. This is why I talk about privilege, because this lady said, you can write me the ticket. I'll just take care of it myself.
She says, I'm the one that prosecutes those.
Exactly.
I think I saw that. Did you send us the video?
I might have. But no.
I don't know. I know I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it on
You
our
probably
local
saw
news
it
feed.
pop up. You probably saw it pop up
think
somewhere.
Our local
I saw
news feed
it.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
I saw it.
So. I think
I don't
did see that.
even watch CNN anymore. I just watch TikTok. It's where I get on my news.
I don't know if you saw the interview that she did.
I did not. I
Okay.
didn't see anything else but the video, so I don't know what her apology had or whatever.
So she said that she called the officer and personally apologized to him. That she called the chief and personally apologized and said that she just overreacted. She was frustrated.
She kept saying that throughout
yeah.
the video too. That, oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah, she was frustrated. And then she does say that immediately after and realizing that she acted like a Karen, basically,
Yeah.
that she went ahead and got the ticket and paid it immediately the very next day, is what she says. Now, in the interview, the interviewer says, have you ever done this before where you
Just
remove stuff for yourself? And she was like, no, I've never done it for myself. He said,
no
okay,
way.
have you ever done it for anybody else? She goes, I have, but not like personal, like friends. I've done it where if the same reason like me, where I felt I had a reason, there were things going on. So I've talked to the person and said, hey, okay, I'm not gonna do the full charge. I'm gonna give you probation. I'm gonna give you this. So I've helped people
Right.
in their situations. She goes, but I've never done it like as a favor. I've never done it personal.
Bullshit.
Which exactly, bro. If
Bullshit.
you are already acting that way,
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I would have thrown that little kid in there right now.
Bullshit.
So I don't know, man. She was definitely on another level, man. She says, write me the ticket. Don't worry, I'll take care of it myself. I'm the one that prosecutes it.
Yeah.
She kept yelling at him, cursing at him, get out of my house, leave me alone. Like everything that she did again. And where was this again?
In Georgia.
In Georgia. First of all, if it had been here,
Oh.
she would have been face planted on the floor.
Yeah.
And tased and handcuffed, and then it would have been.
Let's be honest. I mean, let's be honest.
Lesbian?
No, for real. You know, if that would have happened here in San Antonio, or in any part, and it was somebody with a different color skin, that lady or that person would have been fucking tased, or you're resisting, like.
I mean, think about it, guys. How many news people have we lost already? Greg Simmons. we lost the dude from the daytime show with what's her name?
Oh, Roger's favorite.
Yeah, like dude with Kimberly Wright. Yeah, like they don't care here. They're like, I don't care if you're gonna report this tomorrow or not. Like you're going to jail.
They throw their ass in jail.
You were
bro.
drunk driving. So I mean, it just shows the same thing that we've been talking about when we talk about entitlement.
Exactly.
And we basically talk about the kids all the time. Hey, the kids are entitled. The kids are entitled. Well, this is an example of someone who feels I'm above the law. I'm above everybody else. And I'm entitled to not get a ticket. Or if I get a ticket, I'm entitled to get rid of it. Like,
that they're putting themselves above everybody. And, they're apparently not a citizen because I'm the DA. Well, I can do whatever I want. Like, well, no, you can't. Like, no, you can't. Because if had that been, this would have been, and I didn't hear, the only reason I heard about it was because it was on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Because this whoever it is, because a lot of that stuff is public. It's what do you call it? Public
Information.
Yeah, it's public information. So anybody can go. So if they hear about it, they can go and request those records. And of course, once the police go in and do their little editing or whatever it is that they do, I don't know. Then they can get a copy of it. Well, that's what they do. They get the copy of it and then they post it on YouTube and they expose these people. Like, so it's like if had this, been on the news like really big. I mean, she probably could have resigned, right? But she only issued an apology.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't big time. Like, this didn't come up on, like, CNN or MSNBC or whatever. Like, it wasn't, like, a big thing. But yet, because it happened and because it was on body cam and all that stuff, she had to come out and say, well,
I'm pretty sure it's going to come out on, it's going to come out on, like, the world news type thing later on. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to, because I guarantee you it's not going away. It went too viral, I think.
Do you think so?
For there not to be consequences and repercussions.
Consequences, repercussions.
If you don't know where that's at, it's from Life. I mean, we use it all the time, but
yeah, I know. So we got to explain everything. So a DA is the person in a no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the district attorney,
the dumbass, the Dumas.
But and it goes back to the entitlement. So I was telling you that we had one of the comments, and it was from Christina, right? And she says, everyone has a sense of entitlement. Mm. She says, and this is her words. But when Trump came into office, he made it okay to make it known that entitlement is a right of American citizens, and especially whites. I'm not gonna argue that comment. I do feel that you're going to reflect your leader. And when he comes off
if we were to reflect our leader, I'd be falling down all over the place right now. So don't give me
where's my rim shot? Boom, boom.
Don't be giving me that. We're going to reflect our leader.
Did you see the one? Did you see the one where they were like, he can't even eat a salad? Did you see the one?
Jeez, man.
What I'm saying is that if he goes around like I'll give you another example. I saw the roast, of Tom Brady, right?
Oh.
And then I saw on there was a bunch of people that they're entitled, right? I mean, Tom Brady, look at him.
Him too.
Then I was watching Jimmy Kimmel and Jerry Seinfeld came out on there, and he was like, "This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Like me and you together in the same place." And I'm like, Jerry Seinfeld, you haven't been relevant in fucking years, and you just came out with a Pop-Tart movie, like. Do you think that made you relevant again? And then today I was watching the where they gave the award to Kevin Hart for the Mark Twain Award.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I saw that, right? And he comes out. He's the first one that comes out.
Yes,
Jerry
yes,
Seinfeld.
yes.
And again, bro, he's talking like he's real big. Well, I'm telling you, man, when you have people like that, and I have to say Trump, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't stand Trump. I felt that a lot of the things we had cheaper gas when he was here.
Here we go.
There was a lot of things that I saw that were okay, things that affected us, the lower class, right? But I don't like him. And when he walks around talking the way he talks, like he's entitled, he's like, it's about him.
Yeah.
And then you have all his followers that act the exact same way. I mean, you see, where is it coming from? And it just trickles down.
Well, I'm sure if our current president could talk, he'd probably see the same. He'd probably be the same way. Well, that dude can't even freaking say a sentence.
Hey, well, Trump can't talk either.
I mean, I'm not for or against either president, but if you're gonna talk about one, you gotta talk about the other one.
Okay, so let's.
You can talk the negatives of one. You gotta bring out the negatives of the other one.
Let's talk about
this new one isn't any better than the other one.
Let's talk about the difference, okay? The difference that I see, okay? So the difference is
in the president.
Okay, well, let's talk about the people that follow this person, right? Because that always gets brought up, but okay. So there's the people that follow Trump. Treat him as if he's a messiah, if he's a god. He's all knowing. He's all powerful. He
Karish.
can't do no wrong. He
Big
even
Karish.
said it himself that he can go in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York and shoot somebody, and he probably wouldn't get arrested. When people heard that, is when they said, "That's my president. That's the one that I'm gonna be. That's the one I'm gonna follow." And he cannot do any wrong by those people. But here's the difference, and I'm honest to God. Here's the difference. Yes, I voted for Biden because I don't like Trump, obviously. But the thing is, I don't treat Biden like he's the end-all, be-all president of forever and ever and ever. I know what you're saying. It's funny because, I laughed too.
You felt he was just
fucking
the better
fell down.
option out of the two.
Think about it. Some people didn't see it that way, right? Because I'm driving to the school to pick up the boys, and there's fucking people, there's trucks with Trump stickers all over. So on the south side of San Antonio, people.
I'm gonna vote for Schwarzenegger this year.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the only difference is that I don't treat him as if he is all knowing or all greater. Maybe things were better, maybe things weren't. But if you wanted me to pick who I want as president, I fucking didn't want Trump. I can tell you that.
And that's the only reason why he became president, because nobody wanted Hillary.
Yep. And that's true. I believe that too.
You know, and then when you talk about I don't know politics. But I'm around a lot of people that talk about it, and I pay attention sometimes.
Yeah.
And they say that the president's, it's not even the president that runs the country; it's the House.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's the House.
The Senate, because
and all that.
He's basically the voice and the face.
That's it.
Yeah.
He
has. I don't want to go heavy into politics, all right, but he does have control because he can veto everything.
Yeah.
So he can say, you know what? No, we don't want this. Veto it. Boom. And because he's got
he does have power.
But there are checks and balances, and there are all that. So he doesn't have absolute power, but he has. He does have a lot of power. Trump had a lot of power. I mean, let's think that's. But yes, you're all right. He does. But he does have that power to, if it gets to him, he's.
And I didn't rabbit hole
no.
if that DA was a Trump supporter. I probably should have.
Well, considering
but it just makes you think though, like here, has that ever happened here? I mean, we have so much against the DA that's here right now. Because we feel that he doesn't do, a
lot of people feel that way,
right? That
a lot of people feel
he doesn't do follow up. He's not hard on repeat people. Like there's so much, right? And it kind of makes you wonder, man, has he ever,
if he's ever done,
let somebody,
How many times have you heard of cops, just regular cops, letting people go, Especially
I know you.
Yeah, especially the kind of person that has,
Yeah.
those things. Because that's happened before.
That shows a little cleavage.
Yeah. The guy, hi, officer. So that, that's happened.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who hasn't gotten the inside track? Every now and then, let me call my brother, or let me call my brother friend, or let me go,
my cousin. I know somebody.
Cousins, brothers, sisters, nephews, uncles, sister,
Is a
who's a
monkey's
cop,
uncle, yes.
and then he's related to the janitor who's a cop, and So I mean, in that sense, yes. But as far as the DA, I mean, come on, that guy's got a lot of power.
Did you?
That's had to.
Do you know that they go through an ethics
a review?
Well, when they're doing their review, kind of like an interview to become a police officer, they ask you questions, and one of the questions is, or has been, if you pulled over your mom, would you give her?
I tased the shit out of her.
Would you give her a ticket? Right? And a lot of people answer what they think is correct.
Of course.
They're like, of course, I have to do my job. And what I've heard is they come back and say, man, you didn't pass that ethical part because that's your mom. Like, you have to, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, so you're wanting to give him a pass. Like
the ethical, the right answer, or the ethical, I don't know. The answer is, I wouldn't pull over my mom because
I know what she drives.
You know what she drives. You run the plates.
Kind of like,
you know what your mom. And like, damn it,
Kinda
call
like-
on this, Mom. You just didn't put your blinker on right now. What the hell are you doing? Go home before I pull you over.
Kind of like what Cranky said last week or the other time. You know, if you get a phone call, you know what they sound like. You know what come on, man. Why are you gonna pull over? You know,
If you pull over your wife, anybody, you know you're probably pranking them. You know what? I got you. Scared you. You know. But seriously, hey, watch out what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's the answer,
yeah,
man.
I wouldn't have pulled them over. Yeah,
You wouldn't have pulled them over. You know.
I didn't see them. Cheers to ethics.
Yeah. Cheers. There you go. What was it? What were you thinking?
Crown.
Crown Royal for ethics. For pulling over your mom. But I mean, that goes back, man. I mean, everybody has done it. I've seen it at work. You know, position opens up. What? Next thing you know, a phone calls coming in. Hey, my cousin is just getting out of school, and they want to know that I see you got a position open, and this and that, and they're like, because that happens all the time, dude.
Yep.
You know what I do with those calls? Oh, okay. But I don't, because that brings up a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Because if they find out, of course, they had the inside track because they
Nepotism.
called you and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's not even necessarily, family.
Yeah.
It's just that somebody knows somebody that knows somebody, and
I just
let me
point them in
call
the right direction. Go that way.
I'm like, you know what? Just have them apply. That's what I tell them. Just have them apply. I'm like, that doesn't mean I give them an interview. No.
It's protocol though.
Yeah, well, there you go. You can apply.
You
but
can apply.
That doesn't mean I'm going to give you an interview. But so the second part, are we done with that? Are we done with the DA, or do you want to bash him some more?
Oh no, y'all go ahead.
No, so the other part was okay. So I don't know the other context of where this happened. I got the information from somebody else, from Roxanne, so I don't have the whole story. So apparently there was this group of girls that were either at a restaurant. I don't think they were at a club, but apparently they were eating first and then going to some bar or club or whatever. So they're standing around and they're dressed for the club. You want to say that. They weren't, they weren't chunkies, apparently. They were nice, looking young girls or whatever. So this lady felt that she was going to take it upon herself to fix this girl's skirt, because apparently to the lady, the skirt was a little high, right? Riding up. So she walks over behind the girl, grabs her skirt, and pulls it down. Right? Harmless? Not really, but yeah,
To some people.
maybe she's trying to help, whatever. That's according in her brain, maybe she was helping. So they turn around, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I think your shirt was too short. Your butt was hanging out of your thing, your skirt." So they were like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be coming up to people like you don't know." Blah. She's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to help." Blah blah blah. So this lady goes to the police because she's trying to nip it in the bud, right? So she goes to the police and she says, "Well, sir, I was just trying to help them. The girl, her skirt was too high, so I decided to pull it down and blah blah blah." This lady's under the impression that they're underage, and they're not. They were 22, 23, something like that. So then what happens is,
What is underage though?
underage, like under
what is
21
Under,
or under 18.
like underage to be dressed like that? There is no age
Well-
limit to be dressed a certain way.
So she was enacting her age.
Yes. They weren't
Basically.
Well,
dressing
see,
their age.
well, the thing was, according to this lady, she thought that they were younger or of whatever age, right? And she felt that they were too young to be wearing that stuff, and that's why she decided to go and yank her skirt down. And like I said, she goes to the cops. She tries to take care of it ahead of time because she's like, "Hey, if something happens, I'm just letting you know." So the girls go into the police station, and they file a report. And they tell the cop, this lady, oh, no. So what they did was, and of course they went to TikTok. So what they did was, and they had video of the lady. So they go to TikTok and they're like, "Hey, we need to find out who this lady is. We need to find out her name, blah blah blah." And of course, they find one of those guys, that finds who people are. So they find out who it is, right? So they take her information to the police, and they want to file reports. And they say, "Look, this is her. This is a video. Blah blah blah. This is what she did." And then the cop said, "Oh, you have it on video." Okay, so then the lady apparently showed up again for whatever reason, and the cop said, "Oh, you're that lady that blah blah blah, pulled the skirt down. We're gonna arrest you now for sexual battery because she, went up to that girl and pulled her skirt down." Is that privilege? Is that
White privilege?
somebody? Well, let's look at it that way, because I mean, who in their mind thinks that it's okay to go up to somebody you don't know, and because you're trying to help them, quote unquote, you yank their skirt down because their ass is showing?
Okay.
Is that privilege?
Well, I don't know. Craig, what do you say?
How old was the lady?
She was an older lady. She had like a 10-year-old.
We just discussed it last time. What is older to y'all?
I don't
Is
know
it
the
like
context.
40-something our age or older?
I don't know the age range of the lady, unfortunately.
So you don't know if she's older then?
Well, she was an older
She
lady
was
than
okay.
they were.
She was older than them.
She was older than them.
Okay.
And how? And you said the girls were.
They were like 22.
They were in their
23.
20s,
So
okay.
the lady was under the impression that they were teenagers, is what she said.
So basically, she was trying to protect her from showing too much because she felt she was a minor or
right,
underage.
and that
Okay.
minor shouldn't be wearing that.
Y'all already know how I feel. If this was our era, it's nothing.
Nothing would happen.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's ass. Okay, walk away, and then she picks her skirt back up.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But this is not our era no more. This is a stupid era.
This is the
where
brittle-
everything is fucking wrong.
Offensive. Everything is illegal.
This is the brittle
Yeah.
spirit age. Yeah.
So
You're gonna go and ruin this lady's life because she acted on, how do you say, man? Acted.
Well, and
she was she wasn't grabbing him.
well, and that's
She
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
fucking,
Like,
it was if it was a dude,
oh yeah.
it's way different.
But
well.
so in
Hold
in
on.
that context, though, is
It
it?
was a certain kind of dude.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Because nowadays,
I gotcha.
You can't
I got you.
it's you can say there's some women that and you use that term lightly, right? That could feel that, hey, it might have been a pass or something towards them too. So here's my thing. I've seen it happen lots of times. Sabrina's done it, and I've seen other people do it, where they'll go up to them, but they don't just go and just grab them, right? What they'll do is they'll say, hey,
Yes.
I'm just going to pull this
Yes.
down just
Yeah.
because I'm
That
letting
was-
you know.
And that was Roxanne's
Okay.
point.
Your tag
Why
showing.
didn't she
Yes,
do that? Right. Right.
Your ass is showing. I'm just trying to help you out.
Right. Do that.
And if they say turn around and say no, it's okay. Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure that you were aware
Right.
of this, right? I've seen that happen a lot of times. I have seen it happen once where they just go and do it, and you could see the person turn around like, hey. And this is where I would agree with that person. Hey, granted, they want to show their ass, let them show their ass, right?
Right.
But that person was more in the lines or had that mentality like, hey, you're invading my private space.
Yeah.
This is my boundary. Like, I have boundaries. You can't just come touch me.
Right.
Doesn't matter. And we talked about it a couple of episodes ago. Doesn't matter how they're dressed. It doesn't warrant
Yeah, it doesn't
certain
give you
types
the
of
right-
reactions,
right.
right? And we get it. However, if you're out there for looking for attention, then you're going to get the attention. And not all attention is good attention. Sometimes it's bad attention. So
Like
they
a
have to
fiesta.
understand that.
Yeah.
Like Fiesta, which we didn't touch on the last time, we will. But, those are the things. So I get it. I get that what the lady was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I think because if we think about our era as well, and we think about how when we were their age and our parents, they would always talk about modesty and how you present yourself and how you're dressed. So I get it. If this lady was older, I understand that. However, there are boundaries, and I don't care how old you are. you know what, like Cranky said, what era we're living in. You know the times that we're in. You know how people get offended, how people get, everything is they're a victim to everything.
Right.
So you have to realize that and know I can't just go touch somebody.
Right.
I have to be able to at least speak to them and say, hey, let me just talk to you real quick.
There's different ways that she probably could have handled it. She probably could have not touched her dress. She probably could have upped her, tapped her on the shoulder, like you said, say, hey, your ass is showing, something like that. You're
Or you could have just mind your business.
or just shut the fuck
Or
up.
in the words of Dave Chappelle, you could just
Shut the fuck up. And not say anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's different ways that
Just
that
walk
could have
away.
been handled.
Just walk
right?
away.
Or don't even pay attention to it. Just leave. Just walk away.
And I think that's the go-to saying now is just walk away,
Just
dude.
walk away.
You don't like what you see, like we've said before, turn the page. Just walk away. Just walk away, man. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be now held accountable for your trying to be right actions. You know what I mean?
And that's the reason why the lady went back to the police, was because she found out that these girls or whoever were posting her stuff on TikTok, because whoever they got to find out who she was, they started posting stuff. You know how they are. They started posting either her picture, her name, blah, blah, blah. And that's the reason why the lady went back to the police to say, hey, they're posting my stuff, blah, 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 and I have a 10-year-old, and he can see this, and blah, blah, blah. And then they said, oh, you're the one that did it. Click, click. Dang. That's when they arrested her. So, and that's the question of, first of all, what gave her, in her mind, the right to go and touch someone else, right? Regardless if she's a woman or not a woman. Because think about in middle school. Think about in high school. It never happened to me, but how many times did we see somebody else get pantsed?
Yep.
Right?
Weird science.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we learned it from. And it was funny.
If you were in
saying.
sports, you saw it a lot.
That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of grab-assing going on, dude.
Yep.
And, that's how guys were. They hit each other on the ass or punches somebody in the balls. Like shit
now
like
makes
that.
you think about the guys that were actually doing that. And
Well, they might not be he's anymore. No, but seriously, think about all that times that had. Like, dude, some people walk around and just fucking and bam, punch somebody in the balls for no reason, right? That's what they did. Hit somebody in the ass, slap them in the ass, or do something to them, yank their shorts down, or fuck with them, or slap them on the back of the head, like all that shit. You can't.
What's the capital? What was it? Thailand. Bangkok. Remember? Exactly. Oh, you got me.
But and that goes to your point. That goes to Cranky's point, because now you can't do that nowadays, and that's why even I tell Boston, I'm like, keep your goddamn hands to yourself, son. Yeah. Do not touch these kids. Yeah. If they're fucking with you, go fucking tell. I don't care. Go tell the teacher. Yeah. And tell him he don't leave me alone.
Next time.
He's just fucking with me. Yeah. Okay, fine. And at that age, it's different because the kids don't want to say anything. They're so young. They're like, they don't care. They think that's how things are supposed to be. And that's why I tell him, you don't mess with anybody. You keep your hands to yourself. If they're doing something, you go tell the teacher.
That's the rules that we have in the house. So at the house, that's the rule, right? And that rule applies to you at school. If somebody's doing something to you, you tell them to stop.
Right.
If they don't stop, you go and tell somebody, okay? Now, if nothing happens from that and they continue, then you have every right to defend yourself. And I hadn't heard...
Kick him in the balls.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now. I literally hadn't heard, if he does that again, you punch him in the nuts. I had not heard that in a long time. And I just heard that this weekend, and I was like, dang, that's a little...
What was that movie, too? You Know Why. What is it? They give him a nut punch, and you just look him in the face, and you know why.
Oh, my goodness. What was that?
Ah, dude.
Man, now I have to look that up.
But, yeah, man. I tell the kid, they're fucking with you. Tell the teacher. I haven't gotten to the point to tell him, if they keep fucking with you, then, yeah, do something back to them. I haven't gotten to that point. because I don't want him to get into. I don't want him to get it to that shit, right? But I just tell him, if they're fucking with you, tell the teacher, you keep your hands to yourself. Don't fucking touch. Because nowadays, what are the kids gonna go home and do, right? If he's the one, like if I'm fucking with Cranky, right? And I'm fucking with Cranky, and then Cranky does something back to me, what do? I go fucking tell my parents. And then everything
That's why he was a bad
starts. And that's how everything starts. That's what I'm saying. Because now you weren't the one that got in. You're the one that got in trouble now because you did something back. And now they went and told their parents. And their parents are brittle spirits and they're little bitches. And now they want to come back and say, well, he was messing with what I said. Well, no, you don't know the whole story.
What happened in Vegas?
Yeah, what happened in Vegas?
That was the movie.
Which one was that?
What happened in Vegas?
With Ashton Kutcher
Yes.
and
With the girl? Was it?
Cameron Diaz.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz.
So, and this is the one thing that we always tell the kids too. Don't react. You make sure you go say something first. Because if you react and you're the one that gets caught, you're the one that's in trouble, and they're not. So you always have to cover your ass. CYA, I always tell them.
Yeah.
Go and you make your report. You tell them this is what's going on. And if it doesn't stop, I'm gonna have to defend myself. I'm gonna have to protect myself. And then when you do that, I'm sorry, but I don't care. And the schools are all the same. Well, they still reacted, so they're still gonna have to be punished. I get it. But you know what? I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad at the kids.
They did what
they were supposed to.
Right.
If you would have done what you were supposed to, this wouldn't have happened. So that's where we're at.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yep.
But man, so yeah, privilege, man. I mean, that's my question. Like, why do people feel like they have the opportunity? I'm just gonna go like, obviously, if it was a normal red-blooded dude and he was like, hey, let me pull your skirt down, it's a little bit high, and I'm like, how many times are you gonna see that shit?
You know,
that shit's not gonna happen. You're just gonna keep staring.
But then you have to think about it on the other side. What's to stop somebody if you're allowed to go and pull their skirt down or pick their shirt up because they're showing too much? What stops somebody from saying, well, you're not showing enough? I mean, it goes both ways.
Oh my god. Well, there you go. That was our white privilege. Oh, I said it. He said it. I said it. I said it. A little
It
privilege.
had to be said.
A little privilege section. So let's jump over to quick shots. Who's got a quick shot? You want to start or you want me to start?
I have one.
Go ahead.
I have
start.
one.
You start with your quick shot.
Damn customer service of airlines.
Oh, here we go.
So I had when I was coming back from Puerto Rico, we had a huge delay. It was about 8 hours, and this was before they passed the new law where if you have more than a 3-hour delay, they have to pay you in cash now. Ooh. There. Now this was before that, right before. Okay. So right now we complained and did the whole thing. We had to stick it out, right? Because we had to get back home. But they gave us vouchers to use, and they give you an expiration date. And there's restrictions on the vouchers, and the vouchers say, there's blackout dates that you can't use them on, and there's certain things you can't use them on your bags, you can't use them to upgrade. It's just for your flight.
Right.
So cool. I have a trip coming up, right? I'm going to Vegas this week, and so
Viva
that's
Las
right.
Vegas.
So from the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to use this damn voucher. I actually have 2 vouchers, so I've been trying to use one at least to just bring the price down, right? And bro, every time I go in there, it tells me cannot use whatever, right? Call an administrator. Call them. They can't help you. They don't know what's going on, and they don't. So finally today, I get Dino on the line. I'm like, man, go call me Fred or Wilma. But
I think his real name was Sanjeep.
yeah, because he you know what? And I wouldn't doubt that his name was Dino because it could have been like Sandino or something, or I don't know what, because he wasn't from here. But he was trying to help me, and he's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you because there's no restrictions on what you're using.
Why isn't it?
That's working? It's not a blackout day. Like I don't know what's going on." And he couldn't help me, and then hangs up. So then we're having to call again, An hour and a half later, they finally get it to work, and then they tell you, oh, but because you called in and you didn't use the app or didn't use the online, there's a $25 service fee for us to be able to book the flight for you. And I'm like, so now I'm just losing my voucher, right? And so of course they're complaining and going back and forth, and finally they let us use it, and I was able to finally book it. But it took almost 2 hours on the damn phone to get this done, man. I'm like, customer service, man. This is what you. If you don't take any other calls, because obviously they charge you for everything. You don't take any other calls. Why can't you just focus on this one thing? And then it was, well, let me transfer you to this person.
Yeah.
Why? Well, because I can't handle that part. Then why did you take my call? Or why did you tell me that from the beginning? Like,
I need a manager.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, man, I'm done. I'm frustrated.
How much was the voucher for?
So there was 2 vouchers. There was 2 for $50, so 50 each. So it was $100.
Damn.
Right? And if I would have booked it last week, it would have covered my flight. But because I couldn't, and now I'm waiting 2 days before I'm leaving, my flight doubled. So now it's basically cutting my flight in half.
Womp womp.
Yeah, so I was frustrated.
What airlines was this?
That was Spirit.
Wait a minute.
That was Spirit.
Wait a minute.
That's your fault,
heard
dude.
it?
That's your
Hold
fault.
on.
Did you know all the shit that Spirit was
Yes,
doing?
I know. However, I will tell you, I got a great deal for 7 people to fly on Spirit, going one way.
It was buy one get one free.
It was
or what?
$188
for all 7
for
people.
all 7 people. So
Oh, Louis.
that
Damn.
trip is coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes.
Good service ain't cheap, but cheap service ain't good.
You're damn right. Hey, well, get this though. Get this. It's funny because I only booked it one way, right? Because I was like, screw that. I'm not gonna.
One way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use that, right? So I went on Frontier because on Frontier, which is another one,
Oh,
right? I know, but I went on Frontier because I
Aren't
had
they
used
from
them.
Australia?
I had used them 2 years ago, and I had canceled my flight because I was gonna come back for my son's graduation. I was in Vegas. Well, he ended up telling me I'm not gonna walk the stage, Dad. So I canceled the flight and I had credit. So I'm pretty sure the credit expired, right? Because I was looking for it, I couldn't find it. But I think they added it to my points. So I was like, dude, now I'm looking at the flight back from Vegas for this week.
It could be.
And I had like 4,000 points and the flight's only 2,500.
Holy
So I was like, dude, now I have a free flight coming back. Of course, I got to pay for a bag, but I'm like, I'll pay the $50 for a bag. That's fine. So now I'm like, okay, I'm okay. But yeah, I know, dude. Believe me, if I had a choice, it would be either American or Southwest. It would be-
Southwest?
yeah.
Like, I don't even fly, and I know that Southwest is better than that.
Well,
Like,
the
yeah,
only thing with
like-
Southwest though is you never get your booking. Like your group number is always doesn't matter when you check in.
Yeah.
It could be you do it 24 hours before. I do it at the 24-hour mark. Oh, you're in group D.
Yeah.
Like what the?
You wait.
You have the last flight, like,
Right,
the last seat
right.
on the plane. Like, golly. So that's the only bad thing about Southwest, man.
I
Which
don't
I heard
fly.
they're gonna change that
I
policy.
don't fly enough to to really know what it's
Well, my
like.
plan is to
Still.
fly more and just keep racking up points, man. So I can just take free flights.
Puerto
dude,
Rico? You're Puerto Rico again?
So. Puerto Rico again, dude. Hell yeah.
Cranky, you want to go or you want me to go?
I ain't got one
You ain't
off
got
the
one?
top of my head.
Let me go. Maybe want to pop into your
Dome.
Your dome. So another YouTube video that I was watching. Of course, that's all I watch apparently. But
At least you changed from TikTok, dude.
oh, true. I mean, Drew. But honestly, I hardly go on TikTok. Though.
Really?
Honestly, it's like weird. Like I'm just sitting there late at night when I'm not doing it. I'm like, see what's going on TikTok, and that's like every other 2-3 days. It's funny. But anyway, so the video was they pulled over this lady. And, of course, it was in Florida. Like I said, everything happens in Florida. So they pulled over this lady, right? And apparently she caused some sort of accident. And the lady kept saying, well, I had my blinker on and this and that. And they didn't pay attention. And they hit me and all this other stuff. And so the person that ran into this lady or whatever, she's like, well, she did have her blinker on. But I was there already. Like, I was already there. Like, there was nowhere for her to go. Mm-hmm. And so then the cop started explaining to the lady, and man, it popped into my head, and I'm like, this is how people with blinkers think, right? People who are smart enough to use blinkers, let me say that, because obviously there's a lot of fucking people that don't use blinkers, but people who are smart enough to use blinkers, it's not a command. It's like you're asking. right?
Oh, yeah.
So if I put my blinker on, I'm letting you know
That I wanna
hey,
get in.
my intention
Yeah.
is to move into this lane.
Well, we
right?
had that conversation on one of my quick shots one time.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So yes,
And
I
that's
agree.
that's why I'm bringing it up again. That people don't understand. They just think that okay, I'm gonna put my blinker on.
That's their
so
force
you
field.
gotta let me in.
It's a force field.
No,
it's a
no.
force field. You turn it on
I
and
don't-
it puts a bubble around your car. so then you can now get in and you have to stop because if not you're gonna get banged away. So believe me, it's a force. I get it, bro. I get it. It's a force field, man.
So yeah, he described it perfectly. He said that's the putting a blinker on is not a command.
Yeah.
So it's not saying okay, my blinker's on, I can move over. No, putting your blinker on is
a request.
asking,
Yep.
okay, this is my intention. I'm gonna move into this lane. I don't have to let you in.
Correct.
And I tell Roxanne this all the time. She gets pissed off at me, and I tell her, I don't care if they have their blinker on. I don't have to let them in.
Nope.
I don't. Especially when you're getting onto the highway. Like if I'm on the highway already and all these other cars are trying to get on and they have their blinkers on, I don't have to let them in. I don't.
Now-
Because okay, hold on, because there's 3 things they tell you to do when you're getting onto the highway.
Yep.
3 things.
Increase speed.
You increase your speed, you slow down your speed, or you put your blinker on to see if maybe they'll let you in.
Correct.
Those are the 3 things that you should expect to do when you're getting onto the highway.
I hate people that are getting on the highway and they're already riding their brake. Like, no,
Yeah,
dude.
no, keep
increase
going,
the speed
man. Do
so that way you can
something.
get in. Now here's my only rebuttal to that, and it's right. You're right. It's not a demand. It's a request. It's a
request.
Right. However, when it's traffic and there's basically traffic jam or traffic, heavy traffic, it's still not a demand and it's still not you need to let them in. However, I guess the unwritten rule, the unwritten courtesy rule is 1 and 1.
Nope.
I know you. I know
Nope.
because I feel the same way. However, this is what I do. If I'm there and I'm like, okay, I get it. Boom, I have my blinker. You're not gonna let me in. Okay, but after the second or third car passes, I'm like, screw that.
Yeah.
I'm forcing my
Yeah,
way
yeah,
in.
yeah.
But this is me now. I'm gonna do it because, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit here and wait for 10 cars to pass.
Yeah. And you're right. We did talk about
But it's
that
still
too.
not. It's still not a demand. It's not a command. It is a request.
And we
though.
talked about, and the reason, because it did happen to me again, and then I just happened to see that video, and I heard the cop say it's not a demand. But the other thing that gets me right is like people, and especially like I tell y'all over there at 90 and at 37.
37, yeah.
There's a long ass line of people trying to get onto 90, and that line sometimes stretches all the way back to Fair, right? People in the left lane here, like if I'm in the lane trying to exit, right, and the left lane over here is people who are still technically on the highway. They ride all the way up to the front of the thing, and they slow down. And then what do? They cause all that traffic to back up because they're trying to nose in, right? And that's what was what pisses me off more, because it's like, no, motherfucker,
line.
you know this
Yeah.
traffic was back there. You could have gotten in line and fucking waited.
And those
but
are the
no.
ones I don't let in.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I get pissed off at. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna ride the car in front of me and not let your ass in because you're a fucking asshole. And
Now
you're stupid.
they weasel their way in. Hey man, good for you. You got me on
Right,
that
and
one.
then people let them in, and what do we do?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you letting them in?
Yeah. You know what I do? I'm driving and I start seeing somebody come. I just move over, and I take up 2 lanes, so that way they can't get around me. And I'm in a bigger truck, so I'm like, I'm sorry, man, you're not gonna get around me. To get to the back of the line. So
Dude, man, that really got me. I'm like, no. So that's my quick shot. So yeah. So what do you want to end on? Where are we at? We're gonna talk about Edgar's, or we're gonna wait till later?
let's do it, man.
We'll talk about Edgar's.
Let's do it.
All right. So this was the conversation that we were having because of Fiesta and the way everything ended with those, that shootout and those 2 guys passing away, and then so this bar owner, and did we confirm it was Bentley's or no?
What bar was it that I sent y'all?
No, it wasn't Bentley because they're shut down.
Yeah, because they're
Oh well, that's what I heard. Not what I heard, but I get in the bars confused. So this guy here in San Antonio owns a bar, and he is proposing that there is a Edgar haircut ban. making it okay for him to not allow people with a certain type of haircut into his bar. And of course, he got a lot of backlash. I mean, yeah, well, like, what did he expect? What really did he expect for nobody to say anything? I mean, really, let's be honest. So he gets a lot of backlash, and he comes out and he's basically saying, "Well, I didn't mean to offend a whole race of people." And like, well, what was your intention, right? What was your intention of all that? To discriminate people because they have a haircut, right? Certain type of haircut. And so that was a question. So now, Louis tells us.
So it's a San Antonio bar owner, Ricky Ortiz.
Okay.
But it's not telling me where.
I don't remember the place. I don't remember the name of the place. But so now he's started.
El Camino.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. It was the outside.
Yes.
Is that the one on St.
The
Mary's?
food truck. It's the food truck park.
The food truck park.
On Avenue B.
Over there at San Pedro.
And
What?
Broadway.
Okay.
Oh, Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
Broadway.
Now, on 802 San Pedro is where they did the mural for the. Oh. That's where they put it on. And so and it's a picture. So there's an indigenous person in the back, kind of grayed out, shadowed out, and then they have a person with an Edgar haircut.
The bowl haircut.
The bowl haircut, right? But see, the picture that he paints is basically looks like another indigenous person. It doesn't look like the Marbach haircuts that everybody's getting right now.
The taquach.
Yeah, it's not showing that. However,
wait. For those of you who don't know what a taquach is a possum. That's Spanish for possum. Anyway, go ahead.
So on the mural, it has that picture. So it has the indigenous person, then it has somebody with a bowl haircut, and then it says "they not like us,"
right? Yeah,
written over it.
Right.
They got a lot of backlash about like it's racist, blah blah blah, right?
They not like us, like they don't like us, or they not like us, like they're not like us.
It's kind of like he's.
To me, I took it as the indigenous person is basically saying these people are not like us,
right?
Oh, okay.
So don't mix the two, because everybody keeps saying, well, it's a deep rooted Mexican, heritage.
Right. That was his whole purpose.
Yeah, and so he's
kind
of saying like, well, hold on. First of all, I didn't have it done to become racist, or make a racist remark or statement. What I wanted to do was make an artistic debate, right? Because there's a huge debate right now going on in our town, in our city. So, and I get it. Now, he did though post that they didn't want to allow Edgar style haircuts in their area,
establishment,
in their establishment, right? Yeah. Now, I'll tell you. So I had a cousin that went to the Luke Combs concert on Friday, and he doesn't remember which bar they went to afterwards because they were kind of gone.
Oh, okay.
They were kind of lit, right? But they show up, and sure enough, man, the guy was basically telling people, "Hey, man, if they have those haircuts, we're not letting them in."
Are you
and then we have another family member that has a haircut like that, right? And so when he sees them this weekend, he's like, "Hey, they're not gonna let your kind in," And they're like, "Hey, man, that's discrimination." I'm like, "It is." However, it's associated with a certain type of people, and so what the guy's basically saying is like, "Look, you think about it. Not only the Market Square shootings, right? But you think about all the car burglaries, all the other violent crimes that are happening, right? You think about that, and when you see the videos, every single one of them has that style haircut. So I'm sorry, it is a discrimination, but you have to understand that you're being associated with the same type of people that you're kind of resembling. So
I mean, and to see it another way, right? In a sense, it's like, okay, so this guy's doing the mural, because he's saying that in his words, I believe, it's basically he was saying that these kids or these people who have the Edgar haircuts are displaying their heritage, and they're saying like, these are my people, and that I'm these are what my people are supposed to look like, and like that. Do you think they thought about that when they got that haircut?
Nope.
They probably don't even know where that haircut came from, man.
Exactly. That is exactly my point. They have no idea about what
Roots.
the Incans look like or what these, Quetzalcoatl
They don't
people,
even know what
like,
their
they
grandfather looked like.
They don't even know. They don't even know what tacuache means. Probably they're
They
just
probably
like,
don't even know what their dad looked like.
yeah. Oh, there you go.
Another crankyism.
Oh, but I mean, I was looking at it from one side, and I was thinking, well, that's pretty cool. This guy did that, and yeah, like he said, he wants to spark up an artistic debate. But then I was thinking, these dudes have no idea what these haircuts mean. All they know is that somebody looked cool doing it, and now I'm gonna do it. And now what happens? Everybody looks like they're finding themselves.
Yeah.
Remember,
They're finding themselves.
Yeah, they're finding themselves, but they all look like each other.
Yeah.
So I saw that part of it. How can you say that they're wanting to be like their Mexican heritage, or what do you want to call it, Incan? I don't know, whatever their heritage is, like, but they don't know about that. They don't know about this
And
stuff.
so I'll give you a line that I'm pretty sure our parents shared with us before. Birds of a feather
Flock together.
Exactly. And so go ahead.
No, it just reminded me of a line in a movie with I forgot.
What is it?
Waiting. Birds of a feather flock to vagina.
Fucking movie.
But you are who you hang out with, or you are who you
Yeah.
resemble. You are like, I'm sorry, like if you're trying to be a certain type, you're basically
Right.
saying you're the same type of person.
Yeah.
And is it wrong? Yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
But I'm
Because-
sorry with everything that's been going on.
Yeah, but to go along with that, because I saw both sides. I really did. I really saw both sides, because it's like, okay, well, it's kind of not fair that these guys are getting put into
Category.
that category of, oh, well, you have that haircut, you're a bad person. It's not their fault. That's however other people are seeing it.
It ain't my fault.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because people categorize, like you said, and they put them, okay, you got that haircut, you're that bad person. And it's not fair to those guys. But everything that's going on is exactly like
Leads me
you
to
said.
believe otherwise.
It's like you want to give them some sort of, benefit of the doubt, but
It's like I was telling Porky before we started recording, is that they do the same thing with neck tattoos.
Oh yeah.
You got neck tattoos
Or face tattoos.
Yeah.
You can't come in. It's the same thing, because you chose to put that stuff on you.
or yeah.
You chose to get that haircut. Now it's not our fault that they,
Right.
They want to discriminate, or they want to.
discriminate,
Yeah.
but hey,
Yeah.
Yep. Well, just like
you
in
could
the
be,
times.
you could be. I could go get a face tattoo. That doesn't mean I'm a bad person, but What comes with
that's
that
that's the
tattoo, yeah.
consequences. Yeah,
What
that's what
com-
you have to face, because I say it all the time. I see people, and I have nothing against tattoos, but I see people with face tattoos or a tattoo on their cheek, and I'm like, my first thought is like, well, you're not getting a job.
yeah.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that's what I mean. Really, like, unless they're working in the back where nobody can see them,
Yeah.
who's gonna hire them?
Yeah.
Unless they're a barber.
Because you
or
got to
something.
represent. I mean,
Unless they're a barber doing those Edgar haircuts, then.
yeah.
But I mean that's.
I
like
mean,
you
I know
said.
a lot of guys that, acquaintances that have face tattoos and neck tattoos, and, they're not bad guys.
Yeah.
However, I know what they do and where they're from. So you have to understand you're going to get put in a category.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So as we all talk about all the time, and the times that we're in, you want to be respected or have these certain like entitlements and say, hey, well, I should be able to, and I can do this. Great. Yeah. But guess what? The establishment owners, they can as well. And that's why they have signs that say can refuse to service anybody. You know what I mean?
We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. And we were talking about it too. We was like, okay, well, this guy, he did this thing. Did he actually do it, or is it just those other bars that were doing it? Or
I don't
did
know if
he
he
just
did it.
propose
He posted it on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but that doesn't mean he did it.
We don't know. I don't
So, but
don't
we know
for
the
sure.
other
We're not
bars
sure.
are there
Yeah.
doing it. Okay,
There's
so
already people
so me and Cranky were talking before, and we said, okay, so they're gonna see it as discrimination because they're gonna say, well, you're not gonna let me in because I have this kind of haircut. That dude probably don't even go to that bar, right? We were talking about that before. That dude probably I don't know where he doesn't go to that bar. I can tell you that for sure.
You're probably not even old enough to get into that bar. All these
Exactly.
Edgar haircuts are under 20.
So they're gonna be saying all this discrimination, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, you don't even frequent that place. I'm sure. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway. Oh man.
Get a haircut.
Get-
Get a different haircut. That's all you have to do, man. That's a dumb haircut, anyways, to begin with.
Damn right. I agree.
well, I disagree because Roger said we need to disagree. I'm going to disagree because it's my Latino heritage and my foundation
It's the
from
roots.
way back in the Incan, Mayan, Quetzalcoatl, days.
I'm Puerto Rican. We don't deal with that.
Hey, you're half, dude. I'm looking at your shirt. You're half.
Everybody has buzz cuts over there, dude. So.
Oh man. All right. Well, any closing thoughts? Louis,
No.
Cranky? No.
I'll put a bet for y'all in Vegas if y'all want. So just let me know.
Man, you better come back with some money so we can get some new equipment.
I'm hoping.
I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding. Do it all. All on black. Do it on black. But no, man.
See, we don't discriminate.
Everybody wish Louis luck. Tell him to come home with some money.
Some money. Don't make it rain.
No.
Don't make it rain.
No, Louis. I want all this money. I'm flying to Puerto Rico now. Oh.
But the kids have a babysitter.
There goes your point. All right, then, man. That's it. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.